It's a service of Liberty Tree Guns where you can buy your next gun for just $20 down and take 3 months to pay for it. No interest, no fees, and no catch. Get a gun for just $20 down at Liberty Tree Guns. When you see news, call or text our tip line at 417-208-9TIP. For News Talk KCRG, I'm Steve Smith on KIX 102.5.
Sunshine with a high near 55 this afternoon. We'll see clear skies, a low near 32 tonight. Sunshine and 60 for Tuesday. Partly sunny and low 60s for Wednesday.
KIX 102.5 storm tracker radars not showing anything over the 4 states.
33 in Monette, 35 in Pittsburgh, 35 in Joplin. To get signed up for severe weather alerts, head to the KIX app.
Time now for the KIX Kids Pledge. Today we're featuring Stapleton Mrs. Cross's 3rd grade class.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job, guys. And if you'd like your class group or your kids or whomever to be on the KIX Kids Pledge, just go to the Morning KIX page at KIX1025.com and click on the button to find out how to upload your audio.
Or if it's easier, just call us. We can always record them in 623-1025.
Well, Oreo decided they're going to reinvent the wheel.
Well, yeah, they've got a whole new flavor out, right?
Yeah, they tried this last year, remember, and it didn't work then, and it's not going to work now. This one, they've decided to go into the outer reaches of the galaxy to get this flavor.
We'll tell you all about it in just 15 minutes.
Here's Chris Jansen on KIX.
And this new flavor has variety to it. It's not just Oreos.
It's got chicken noodle soup.
No. There's like mini cupcakes and frosted cookies and...
Oh, yeah, they're trying to market it better. So I'm sure that's what's happening from their R&D department. They're just saying, well, the only reason that all the other flavors failed is because you guys didn't get behind us with product support. So they're showing this product support this time.
Mm-hmm.
And when it fails, maybe next year they'll just leave good enough alone.
Probably not. Morning, Lisa. Morning, Jimmy. Good morning, Megan. Good morning, Sarah. Rah, rah.
Streaming channel alert.
Oh, no.
Instagram streaming is currently impacted for some users due to an issue on Instagram. We weren't using it anyway because it was too complicated to do it every single time. Plus, they crop the crap out of your video, so you get to see part of an elbow and maybe half of the word.
Silly.
So we're like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
We don't even mess with it.
Do you ever watch the bald eagles in their nest on YouTube? It's a whole thing.
No.
There's this nature preserve that has a camera up in the tree, and it watches this eagle's nest, and you get to watch the babies be born and stuff, and it's so precious and adorable. And they do it every year.
Oh, yay. What I watch.
So they're sleeping right now. It's very cute. There you go. If you want to check in on the bald eagles.
I went and saw them in the wild.
Ooh.
In Alaska.
Oh, that's awesome.
That nest
Huge.
was almost as big as this room.
Giant.
I mean, you have no idea. It's like the size of a car.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's just for one mama and her baby?
Well, there were 2 of them in there. 2 adults. So the male and the female, I guess. They're as common as crows are around here, you know.
Really?
In Alaska, yeah.
I didn't think the population
And
was
they
big enough for
consider them carrion eaters, so they pretty much are. They're scavengers.
that. I thought they were just predators.
No, they're really not that much of a predator. They're opportunists.
Mm.
They eat a lot of dead things.
Good morning, John Williard.
Morning, John. So, did you guys hear about the groundhog that died on Groundhog Day? We told this story a while ago with our Oh No You Didn't news that Major was the name of the groundhog at the Wildlife Center in Mount Washington, Kentucky, that just croaked, I guess, right after making his prediction.
again, I don't think that bodes very well at all for 2024.
No. They said that he did not see his shadow and predicted an early spring, just like Punxsutawney Phil did, only Punxsutawney Phil didn't croak right up. They have passed his prediction duties onto another groundhog at the center named Josie.
Which also, that's a little bit suspicious.
It is very suspect. I mean, does she have an alibi? Do they know it wasn't groundhog on groundhog murder? Homicide?
Morning, Sheila. It wasn't Punxsutawney Phil. It was some other.
So I have a picture somewhere. I think it's on the KIX Facebook pictures of me holding an eagle standing right over there.
Really?
Yeah, they brought one in here. Oh,
That's so cool.
yeah, that thing was like this tall. Huge. Never brought its wings out, thankfully, but it was huge, and did not look happy about anything. I always think of Sam the American Eagle on the Muppet Show, always like this and so disgusted with everything. That's exactly what he looked like. But the Missouri Department of Conservation brought him in here one day.
How did we get them to do that again?
You offer them money and select choice cuts of meat.
Wait, no. I want them to bring a giant eagle in here. That sounds
You can
awesome.
try. Yeah, Lainey Wilson got a Grammy. I didn't see her in our listing. We saw
I didn't know that she'd won.
Kelsey Ballerini. ABC has Billie Eilish got Song of the Year. Jay-Z got the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award.
What did Lainey win?
Are you sure Lainey won?
I'm seeing Chris Stapleton won, and then Zach Bryan with Casey Musgraves, and then Chris Stapleton again.
Where's their full list? There it is.
Here we go.
KIX 102.5, the 4 states, number 1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen, 710.
Lots of sunshine this afternoon. Highs nearing 55. It's 35 in Joplin.
We'll give you a look at the weather forecast in about 15 minutes. Plus, there's been the announcement that Oreo cookies are trying to reinvent the wheel. They've got another flavor. This one is called the...
It's the Space
Dunk Oreos. Yeah. Sure it is.
They're just out of this world.
We'll describe them to you. They tried this last year. You remember with all the crazy flavors they came out with that no longer exist?
Well, they no longer exist for a reason, I'd say.
It's because nobody liked them. That's why.
We'll tell you more about it in just 8 minutes.
Here's Kid Rock.
At the 4 states, number 1 for country.
KIX 102.5. Galactic embossments. That's what they're describing them as. Where is the rest of the list? I was looking this.
Let's see.
It didn't make it to the top stories list. Music news. The Grammy winners. There it is. Yeah, Lainey Wilson. Wow, if they quit jumping my stupid page around. Love that. Paramore won a couple.
They did. They won rock album, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Rock album. Which is unfortunate as they have now broken up, right? Yep. Best country album, Bell Bottom Country, Lainey Wilson.
Grammy, I can't read your website.
Yeah. Dave, if you click on the plus on that ABC story, there's like 100 listings in there.
Yeah.
A lot. Best classical album, best opera recording, best producer of the year, best engineered album. Best music video, The Beatles, I'm Only Sleeping. I will agree 120%. That is the freakiest thing I think I've ever seen.
I haven't seen that.
It's a little upsetting. It's so nostalgic. You ought to just watch it. Just watch it. You don't have to listen to the song. Just watching it is freaky.
What is it called again?
Best score soundtrack for video games and other interactive media. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Yep. It's The Beatles, I'm Only Sleeping. This is the one that's got the nostalgia, and they merge all these different scenes of the Beatles with old historical footage of Britain back in the 60s, and it just goes from one scene to the next. It's like a solo camera shot. I have no idea how they do this.
This is all painting.
Oh, wait a minute. It may not be the right one.
It's the official video.
Is it?
The official video. I'm Only Sleeping.
I've seen this one. It must be the other song I'm thinking of. Yeah, I don't think that deserves the Grammy or Emmy or whatever the stupid award was.
Morning, Tiffany.
Best Roots album, best musical theater album, best Latin jazz album. They have very specific awards, and there's a lot more than were presented.
Yeah, Paramore didn't break up. I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought that I had heard that they had a big issue falling out thing.
They're no longer with their label. They just left their label.
That wasn't it. Maybe someone else I'm thinking of.
Is this a picture of puppies? Oh, you're all looking out the window.
Yep, you got to be careful. Eagles love puppies, Megan.
Morning, Will. No puppies yet.
I was Mr. Handy over the weekend. I fixed my gutters, and while I was up there, found a hole in one of the covers for the drain vent for the kitchen and fixed that temporarily, and ended up cleaning out most of the gutters on that side of the house and also on the north side of the house, which was good because of the rain we got that came the very next day.
Yeah, good timing.
Yeah. But as such, I didn't go work out on Friday.
Yeah.
And I didn't go work out on Saturday. But then on Sunday, I didn't go work out either. So my goal was to do Friday and Monday always. And I've not been doing real good with the Friday. I've been sticking to the Monday, but.
Yeah. Will says you got to call him for your roofing needs. Are you a roofer, Will?
Why am I not? Oh, I just scroll down. Are you bonded and insured, Will? Come give me a quote. I'm about ready to do that. In doing so, I had all along the drip edge, I had to pull that up and everything, and I began to realize how brittle that they are getting. They're about 15 years old, the roof. I put the last one on. Would you like to work for a guy who used to be a roofer?
I feel like that's a warning.
So I'm going to be analyzing your lines, you right? Which mine weren't great either. I ran a line up. So we've got the sunroof comes up and it butts up to the roof of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So because we start at the drip edge, you have to do that. That's where you start your shingle rows. But I had to start a new row off of the sunroom, which threw that off. So I've got one set of rows that are only about 2 inches apart, and that's so embarrassing.
10 seconds. Hold on, phone.
KIX 102.5, the 4 states, #1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen.
There's a new flavor of Oreo called Space Dunk. We're going to tell you all about it after Sam Hunt.
On KIX 102.5. Hi there, Morning KIX.
Hey, Randy.
Hey, Will, come talk to me, buddy. I mean, I'm getting ready to do that maybe this year or next year.
Okay. I'm gonna,
Okay, what's your phone number? Hold on.
Hold on, Bill.
Hold on. 417-389. Keep 7636. Oh, for Bridgewater? Is that who you're with?
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll give you guys a holler. That's who I've thought of before. They've advertised. Let me make sure I got it right. 417-389. What was the last four? 7636. Okay. I got you, buddy. Thanks, Will. I'm going to have to get somebody to do it.
Mm-hmm. Tiffany.
For advertisement right there. There it is. Yep. Well, Bridgewater, I don't know if they advertise with us right now, but they have.
Yeah, I don't know if they have right now, but they have before. One minute. So what'd you guys do this weekend?
Anybody have anything interesting happen to their pants?
To their pants? Why's it got to be their pants?
It doesn't have to be. Usually that's where the interesting stuff starts.
For better, for worse.
Usually for worse.
My house was very sneezy and sniffly this weekend, so
Make this really hard to copy.
we were very low-key this weekend in my house. Oh my gosh, Sheila, I watched Marissa's solo and it was so good. Holy cow. It was insane. She's amazing. Ew, what'd you do to celebrate, Sarah? Here you go, Randy, 4 seconds. 2.
KIX 102.5, the 4 states. Number 1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen.
Sunshine with a high near 55. It's 35 in Joplin.
And we'll give you a look at the weather forecast in just 5 minutes.
So Oreo has unleashed a new favor into their cookie verse, if you will. It's Oreo Space Dunk.
Yeah, they've got to look all their own. I guess they're blue and pink, which cannot be good after moving through your digestive system. This is not going to be promising.
No, think about this, though. It's got this kind of like marshmallowy filling, and then it's got popping candies in there. So it's kind of like space dust on your Oreo.
Gross. It's like nasty. So they have 5 different, quote, galactic embossments, such as spacecraft and space helmets. And for a first time in Oreo cookies, they've got a small cutout in the cookie to let you see the colorful filling
Ooh,
inside.
that's kind of fun. I like that.
I don't know. You're messing with perfection already.
It might actually be really good. They have some good flavors of Oreos.
No, they never have. They've had one good flavor of Oreos, and that's the Oreo flavor. Meanwhile, the Space Dunk Oreos are on their way to stores now, but supposedly you can pre-order them on their website.
I actually was in the store this weekend and I saw them. They're there.
Oh, they're
on
already
the
there.
shelf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you remember last year when they tried this idea with the pina colada flavor, don't you?
No, what's a pina colada Oreo?
You don't remember the pina colada? Oh, it was a disaster. They did not sell. Nobody liked them. It was really weird. This is just a bad idea all the way around. They've proven once already you cannot reinvent the wheel. Oreos got new flavors. They've injected in the cream. Took 2 chocolate cookies. Nasty cream in between. They sound super disgusting. And I do not understand why they would make nasty flavors that taste atrociously bad. Oreo pina colada, cherry cola Oreos, kettle corns
It's Morning Kicks with Randy and Jen on the 4 states #1 for country.
KIX 102.5.
All right. We'll probably never use it again, but I'm going to go through and fix that.
Oh, Megan, let's not start with the alien snot thing again. No. I saw that video. It was
That was hilarious.
good Lord.
Yeah, we apparently didn't do anything. Just forgot.
What do you put in your sensory bucket, Tiffany? It's just Oreo flavored Oreo.
You realize if we had done what they had scheduled, that there would have been this in there, there would have been another one in there.
Yeah.
It sounded awful. And that's what we're getting ready to go towards if we don't start regulating.
Jen gagging. It wasn't just snot that I was gagging over. Randy had to make it terrible.
Hey, wait a minute.
And he starts making gross noises.
Go back up here to Tiffany's comment. What the heck is a sensory bucket? She made a sensory bucket for her kids.
Mm-hmm.
What is a sensory bucket?
There's all sorts of sensory. You can make sensory boards, sensory buckets. You can like tie things on there. You can put things in the bucket for the kids to kind of rifle through. Sometimes the buckets are clear and you just kind of put a lid on it and you kind of move the bucket around and there's like a pirate hiding in there or a boat. There's all sorts of different sensory buckets. So that's why I was asking her about what you put in hers.
Rice, dry beans, and oatmeal. Are you sure you weren't just getting rid of old food you had in your kitchen, Tiffany? Let's call this a sensory bucket.
Sensory bucket. Right with his girlfriend and brought me lunch. Ooh, we like her. That was sweet of them to do that.
Nice.
Yeah, I can also have
A
water.
little bit
in
of
there.
both, she
Yeah.
says. A little bit of both. Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Hey, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? That way you have more birds, dead birds. My mother used to do the same with meal. It was pots and pans and spoons.
Mhm.
Bang, bang, bang. Still do it sometimes, but usually when my wife's gone.
So sensory boards are pretty cool too. You just take like old light panels and you nail them to just a random old board so the kid can sit there and flip the light switch up and down. It doesn't do anything.
Don't your kids play with old nails?
No, I'm just saying that's not what I mean. Or you can like nail a
More old
doorknob
nails?
to the board and then they turn it.
They got the nails there for them to mess with?
No,
Well, you said nails. You nail them to an old board. I can just see the nails poking out.
no.
Old nails, rusty nails. You giving them tetanus?
You're not putting tetanus nails in there for your kids to get tetanus with.
Lisa Glather just messaged us and said the new space Oreos taste just like regular Oreos. I'm going to email her back and say, yeah, but what's your poop look like afterwards? Am I?
Gross.
Speaking of regular.
Ooh. Magnet fishing. Yep. They brought you a cake and 2 gifts. That's so sweet. Oh my gosh, where'd it go? I made baked smothered meatballs last night and they were so good. Cheesy and breadcrumby and meaty and
See, I put an end date on Chris Stapleton, and it did not work on the website, of course. So I have to manually take that down. Luckily, we go check on it all the time because it would not be able to take care of itself.
Mm-hmm. It was so good.
Yeah, you can see end date February 2nd at 8 a.m.
What the heck?
It's never worked. That's expiration
No.
has never worked on any of those.
Oh my gosh, I love Frito chili pie.
Doesn't like
That
me.
is such a good comfort food.
Does not like me though. There's going to be an incident later.
Gross.
Yeah.
Do you do casserole style Frito chili pie or do you do like the walking Frito chili
Small
pie?
children are going to cry.
Ew.
It's not going to be good.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Trust me.
Okay.
You just trust me.
I will.
You just get ready and trust me.
Wait, what are we getting
trusting
ready
here on me.
for? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
That's country dirts music.
Yes, it is.
Hey,
We're
what?
writing lyrics for it. It's Country Dirt with Jen Fox. She's here to give you entry news and tell you all about the stuff that you did not know before now. It's going to be awesome.
That was really good.
Uh-huh.
All the pictures of that scene from Shrek. What were we singing that was from Shrek? That song stuck in my head and all I pictures that scene from Shrek.
Your wedding? So, I'm a believer.
I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm in love. Mm.
So we just gloss over.
Okay. Walking Frito chili pie.
Woo!
Yum. Do you know what a walking Frito chili pie is?
It's when you eat it and it hits your digestive system so quick that you've got to be
Okay,
headed to the
okay.
bathroom as you're
Go to
eating.
the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. That's in Shrek? Where is that in Shrek? But do you like pina coladas? That song is in Shrek. We watched Shrek 2 this weekend. Where Lord Farquaad is picking his bride. I remember that part. It's like going through Princess Fiona and then two others.
So
Snow White?
So you saw Jen, we were talking about her, about puking on Friday, talking about snail snot, or was it worm snot?
Alien snot.
Alien snot. It's because of the sodas that Megan brought us. So for Christmas, she brought us like these flavors of
Worm ooze soda.
it's the Always Avery sodas, which luckily don't taste like they sound, I guess. Here is a couple more of the flavors. There is dog drool.
And that one's got floaties in it. Why? Why are there floaties in the dog drool?
Dog drool. those. That's the flavor crystal.
Ugh.
Here's the bug bar. And then there is fungal fruit.
And the picture just makes it so much worse.
Lovely.
Here, we got to talk. Three.
You got to talk. I'm not doing it. KIX 102.5, the 4 states #1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen.
Got my review for Jen's movie Rehab right after Thomas Rhett.
On KIX 102.5.
Freezing. Yeah, we had the alien one on Friday.
Yep.
And that one was bright blue. You have the, I don't know where the bottle went. I guess probably got thrown away. But something about just worm ooze. It just sounds gross. Nobody needs an oozy worm.
Better than a dry jerky one.
Is it though?
It's on the same level.
What are you?
Okay.
Comment 20.
I'm trying to remember what we watched over the weekend that was worth. We didn't watch anything, I don't think, any good. But we've been binge watching old episodes of Frasier, so thankfully there's that, or otherwise there'd be nothing to watch.
You know what we started watching this weekend?
What?
The Office.
We did that a year or so ago, so we went all the way through that. Why aren't you watching what you're supposed to be watching, though? Why are you
were gonna
starting
say
new
that.
programs without finishing the other? So we also restarted. So The Tourist made its debut on Netflix this weekend. So this is an Australian series about an Irish guy who wakes up in a hospital room with amnesia and can't remember anything, and the whole thing begins to unfold. It's a really good series. Then we realized we watched it about 2 years ago on another network. I think it was originally on Hulu or something else. Netflix bought the rights to it, and they've got a new season coming out February 29th. It's a really, it's got some pretty coarse language and a lot of violence, but it's a really, really good. It's more like a movie in 5 or 6 parts. So I think it's about 7 episodes
Who's in it?
to this.
Here we go.
I don't think anybody you know. Maybe the main guy. KIX 102.5, the 4 states #1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen, 736.
Sunshine with a high near 55 this afternoon. It's 35 in Joplin.
We'll give you a look at 4 states news and weather in just 25 minutes. Plus, in the next hour,
We'll be asking, how can you tell when you've been together too long?
not implying that you've been together too long. It's just that, they've been together too long, quote unquote. What behavior do they exude that makes you want to vomit?
You can call or text to let us know at 623-1025.
Or maybe it's something that they do specifically, or they wear, or the way they act.
Here we go. Okay, you ready? They finish each other's...
Sandwiches?
No, sentences. They finish each other's sentences.
Each other's sidewalks. I knew
wow,
it was
we're
an
not
S
even
word,
close.
but okay.
623-1025 to call or text.
Of course, it was over the weekend that we assigned another movie to Jen for. And this is where we give a different movie for Jen to watch every weekend, and then she comes back and reviews it for us on Monday.
And then I rank it 1 to 10 and let you know what I thought about it. But it's supposed to be movies I've never seen before. But on Friday, you assigned me a movie that I've actually seen already. Groundhog Day.
No, we didn't. No, you've never seen that.
I'm pretty sure I watched it last year with Bill Murray, Andy McDowell's in it.
No, you've never seen it.
No, I'm pretty sure this is the same one that I watched last year where he relives the same day, the same Groundhog Day over and over and over until he finally gets it right.
I get that. It's because they show the same scene over and over and over in the movie that it seems like you've seen it before. That's all it is.
No, I'm
You've never
pretty
seen
sure
it.
we watched it last year, Randy.
Nope, you haven't.
Yeah, no, because there was the same thing. He has that really funny scene where he and the two guys go on the bender, and he spends all the money, and he makes the bad choices, and there's the Ned who keeps stepping in the puddle. And
Yeah, that's right. But you've not seen that until now.
I'm pretty sure I watched it last year. I remember the ending when he finally makes the really good choice, and he's really good to Andy, his character.
I don't think
Okay.
All right.
Well, either way, I watched it again this weekend. So I ranked it on a scale of 1 to 10.
And what did you give it?
I gave it an 8.
So higher than you did the last time you watched it? If you watched it before, which you did not. So that's
a year
a great
ago, right?
score. No. You've not seen this movie before.
Okay.
It just seems like you have because, reliving
I
as
guess.
they do in the movie.
I mean, it was very repetitive. I mean, it was the same day over and over and
Right.
over again.
And you get better at it each time. So
It took him a while, but he did eventually get better at
it's
it.
taking you a while, too. Trust
Hey,
me.
Randy, okay, I got it. That's Jen's movie rehab.
We'll assign her a new movie this Friday on the 4 states #1 for country.
KIX 102.5.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Hmm?
I thought that came out all right.
That was weird. My mouse got stuck over there. I was like, come here.
So I was going to look up this movie that you were asking about called The Tourist.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Netflix.
That's what I thought so too, Jimmy.
Jamie Dornan is...
Oh, 50 Shades of Grey guy. Got it.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay, his name's Elliot in this. Also, Olafur Dari Olafsson. He's a relatively famous actor from Norway or from, he's one.
His name is
Sweden,
Olaf Olafsson.
Mhm.
Okay.
which is not uncommon around Norway.
Okay.
Or Denmark. He's a big guy, big beard. Hold on. And in this movie, he plays an American. I think he's just probably one of the best, most underrated actors alive today. I think he's really, really good. Damon Harriman. There's a lot of people from Australia in this. Danielle McDonald. You don't know who she is, but you're going to love her once you see her in this show. She plays this constable of this local police force that are investigating this. And anyway, there's 2 seasons now. The second one's getting ready to come out on February 29th. And we'll pick up the story and continue it on. It is worth watching.
Morning, Floyd. Have a good dental appointment. Oh, yeah. It's free coffee at Casey's every Monday.
So, yeah, the guy, on the little piece of the story, he wakes up with amnesia after a car wreck and has to piece together who he is out of the people who are trying to kill him.
Oh.
So, yeah, he's like trying to figure all this out. So,
Dang. There's the phone.
hello, phone. Hi there, Morning KIX.
Morning.
Hey, Dustin, what's going on?
How are you?
Good.
You have a good weekend?
Good one.
It's my nephew's basketball.
Did you?
Oh,
Did you win?
fun. Did he win?
He won that game.
won
good
that
for
game.
him. Well, that's fun. You got to do that.
You didn't run out on the court, did you, Dustin, or at any point? Good.
That's just silly, Randy.
That's interference. Silly Randy.
You want to hear some Garth this morning?
Paige Rocket too.
Who did what?
For who?
For Paige?
They're standing outside the fire.
Stand outside the fire for Paige.
Okay, we'll see what we can do for you. What show? Always talking about The Tourist.
The show. That's the only good thing I saw this weekend.
We watched Shrek 2 this weekend.
Again?
Yes.
Jeez. So much stuff that she could be watching that she's not seen yet. New experiences. But no, Jen likes to live in the past.
It's a one the whole family can get behind.
Been watching the Sam Spade series on AMC, but
Who's Sam Spade?
Sam Spade is an old gumshoe character from out of the 1920s.
What's a gumshoe?
It's a private investigator, Jen. It's a whole shtick. It's a crime noir series, and the Sam Spade series. Clive Owen is
Why do they
playing
call it
him.
gumshoe?
Because they're more sneakery, rubbery shoes back in the 1920s, long before sneakers were invented.
Oh, gumshoe.
Mhm.
Like the
A
shoe
gumshoe.
that you wear.
Yeah.
A
So
gumshoe's a kind of shoe?
let's move past the shoes, shall we? I know that's difficult for you. But this one is set, takes place in the Sam Spade storyline where he has moved to France and is living in France after World War II during the Algerian conflicts. And it's almost all in French with subtitles. So I thought
Ooh.
you would like it.
Yeah, I would.
I've been trying to pick up the cuss words because there's some F-bombs all through this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
if I could learn that and just holler that out in French in here,
Mhm.
Jen would know what that means because I'm sure that's the only French word she really uses prolifically.
That's the curse word. So a style.
It's not that great of a series, really.
I'm Googling gumshoe.
It's just one big learning
It's an
experience
actual
for her.
shoe.
Is it?
Oh, these shoes are made of gum?
No, that's not what is meant by it.
Gumshoe is a type of shoe also known as galoshes.
Okay, so I guess they wore those notoriously when this
Private detectives wore galoshes?
in the 1920s, possibly,
Why does this ad have a small child coming out of the shoe?
because that's where children come from. We all know that. You've heard of the old woman who lived in the shoe?
Uh-huh.
There you go.
What the heck kind of a galosh is that?
The baby galosh. Baby ganoush, baby galosh.
Oh, it all makes sense now.
Everything's connected by a umbilical cord.
Mm.
Floyd said, "What show am I did I just get on?" I don't know, Floyd.
I don't know. It's a valid question, though. Matters to Scoop.
So I think we watched an episode of that, but I can only handle one episode at a time of that. I can't binge watch. It just gets. I
Is it
find
'cause it's
myself
different?
playing games on my phone and other things, trying to pass the time because
Yeah.
it's just boring. You won't do that with The Tourist. It's really, really good.
I think we'll keep Connor Smith.
Okay.
Yeah?
Oh, righty.
Okay. I mean, we could go.
No, I think you should keep it.
Every single word that matters to her.
Enough of that.
Okay.
So there's been a lot of question as to whether Taylor Swift is going to make an appearance at the Super Bowl or not. And she said it's doubtful that she'd be able to make it because she's going to be in Tokyo the night before doing a show.
Okay.
But the Japanese embassy in Washington, D.C. weighed in over the weekend on this to assure them that, yes, she could make it back if she wanted to. That despite the 12-hour flight and the 17-hour time difference, they can confidently speak now to say that if she departs Tokyo in the evening after a concert, she should be able to comfortably arrive in Las Vegas before the Super Bowl begins. Said we know that a lot of people in Japan are excited to experience her Eras tour, so we wanted to confirm to anyone concerned can be
Hold on.
fearless in knowing.
Hold on. Were they just trying to drop us mini album names?
They
1
came
second.
To the Super Bowl wearing red. KIX 102.5, the 4 states #1 for country
Here's Connor Smith.
on KIX 102.5. So
That just sounds exhausting, though. Doing an entire show.
it's not uncommon, though, for artists to have to do things like that to make it from one gig to the next. And
I
when
know,
they
but from Tokyo back to Vegas, I mean, that's
get overbooked, I'm
lot.
sure it will be miserable for her. She will have her own private plane and everything else. So, yeah, come on.
still with the jet lag and everything and performing.
She can sleep on the plane.
Maybe. Can you sleep on planes?
Yeah, well, I don't know, but I bet I could sleep on hers. I mean, with a bedroom and everything on it. It's not like she's not used to sleeping on it either. I'm sure she travels quite a bit on it, so It's not uncommon for her.
Morning, Heather.
I'm sure she'll be there. I'm sure she's going to make an appearance and is going to introduce Michelle Obama as the next presidential candidate for the Democratic Party at halftime. So, what?
Wait a second. What? Just kidding.
Speaking of Super Bowl, don't forget that we've got our big game giveaway. I'm not supposed to say speaking of Super Bowl, but yeah, we've got our big game giveaway going on right now.
And this is one, you don't have to actually make your picks or your guesses for this one. You just enter to win.
Yeah, just go get signed up to win.
So if you like winning free stuff, this one, it makes it real easy to do that.
Oh, there's a rally. Excuse me.
As a rally.
A rally baby that was born back in 22.
What's a rally baby?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, Raleigh.
Rally. They'll say Raleigh.
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina. Was born on February the 2nd in 2022. Turned 2 years old at 2:22 p.m.
Oh.
Yeah, he was born at 2:22 p.m. on February 2nd, 2022. So just turned 2.
That child is either cursed or living the best life.
He is the beast.
Here we go. 9 seconds.
KIX 102.5, the 4 states #1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen, 750.
Sunshine with highs in the mid-50s this afternoon. It's 35 in Joplin.
And we've got to look at the weather forecast and 4 states news in just 12 minutes.
Plus, in the next hour, we want to know, how can you tell when you've been together for too long?
If you finish each other's sentences, you ever noticed how some couples, after they've been together too long, they begin to look like one another?
Oh, absolutely. It's crazy.
A little freaky.
You don't think you and your wife look much alike yet?
No. Don't insult that woman that way. How can you say we look alike? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, you guys have been together for so long. I mean, maybe there's just little things that you guys do that the other one does.
I don't know. We're very different people.
You are, though. That's
people. True. Yeah. So I am the curse, the thorn in her side, the punishment she is experiencing for something she did earlier on in life or something. But for those people that are annoying in the way that they've been together too long, we want to know, what is it about them that makes them so annoying?
You can call or text to let us know at 417-623-1025.
Maybe they're just morning people. You know, they're those people who get up and are so cheerful and like this. They're like Stepford wives first thing in the morning.
It's such a beautiful new day. Let's open all the windows and listen to the birds chirping.
Shut
my gosh, it's too much.
It makes you want to carry an ice pick with you at all times.
Okay, a little excessive. Ranty.
Well, somebody ought to apologize for morning people.
Well, you know, the morning people aren't going to apologize.
Luckily, we've got Mr. Morgan Freeman to do it for him.
Hello, I am a morning person. I'd like to sincerely apologize for being so chipper before you've had your morning cup of coffee. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and I'm sorry that my life is so wonderful. You just got up and I've already run 10 miles, vacuumed the house, and binged 3 episodes of Stranger Things. I deeply regret that you have a case of the Mondays every day. But it's not my fault that you're such a Mr. Grumpalump. Apologetically yours, a morning person.
Oh my gosh!
What?
We just had an internet commercial play next to another internet commercial. That is a huge no-no. Later, Sarah. Morning, Heather. What the boy? See what else is going on in the news. There's a guy who got shot for using a women's restroom. This was in California over the weekend at Sylvan Park. He tried to use the men's restroom, but it was too busy. I guess there were too many people in there. So he was getting ready to have an accident. So he went in the women's room instead, during which time 2 girls went in and quickly left, telling another person that he was inside there. And as soon as he walked out, he was confronted by the shooter, who was 33-year-old Rudy Vasquez, who shot him in the knee and naturally pistol whipped him in the head. Friends of the victim say the attack was completely unprovoked and that he usually hangs around the park with them and is well liked. He's reportedly in stable condition. The shooter is now facing an attempted murder charge for the incident. Like the urinator meets the Terminator. So he was dying to use the bathroom and he almost did. No, in the park's defense, I mean, the restrooms might have been full, but that's why the parks have trees, isn't it? I guess so, Jimmy. You forgot the gun emoji, Megan. So, and here's another story that's pretty. I actually had to look at twice before. You guys know that I hate leap year. I hate them adding the day. I hate the whole stupid calendar screw up. I would rather that they just spread out the hours in the day. They could do this on a leap year. They could extend each day by an hour and gradually make up that day's difference. Yeah, that would throw everything off, wouldn't it? That wouldn't work either. So there's a British guy, though, that wants to change the leap day from February to June so that we would get an extra day of summer. He says have a June 31st every 4 years. That would give us an extra day of summer. He first had the idea when he realized that leap day being on February 29th is arbitrary. He said the date needs to be in June since July and August both have 31 days already, and June still has good weather. He thinks moving the day would improve public well-being and launched a petition on change.org, where it's currently up there right now, aimed at the British government to see if they would get the ball rolling. But he said every government, of course, in the world would have to agree on this, which we know is impossible. Most of us, I think, would agree on this, except for Saudi Arabia. They don't want an extra day of summer at all. I mean, tons of software would have to be rewritten and things, but we could all send the bills to this Chris Snowden guy for his idea.
Who's Chris Snowden?
He's the guy who came up with the idea of moving leap day to June 31st instead of February 29th.
Why?
So you'd have an extra day of summer instead of... What if we move it to May 32nd?
Ooh.
That way we get an extra vacation day for Memorial Day every 4 years.
Getting crazy. Why not just change the whole calendar? Because why leave February with only 28 days?
Well, you can't do that because the calendar is actually off. I forget how it makes up for the seasons. But I said, why don't we just add an hour to each day in leap year? But that would throw everything off by the time you got to December. It would make everything right by January, but all through November and December, you'd be like having midnight in the middle of the afternoon and stuff. So it wouldn't work, but I hate our calendar system. When was it?
2 years ago.
No, it was longer than that. It's like 15, 20 years ago, they had to add an extra day to a calendar.
What? Really? On top of leap year?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Say leap year.
Probably. How do you get an entire country on board with that?
It's not a country. You have to get the whole world.
Oh my gosh, you're right. It's got to be a worldwide thing.
Yeah. So
What?
yeah, they're not going. I remember they did that. So it was Julius Caesar who came up with this idea, the Julian calendar that had the leap year. So it was first developed by him, and he was a nut about things like this. And their calendars were always off during the what was the original calendar called? The one before that, whatever one they used before that, it was always off, and it made the planting seasons off. Not until every 15 to 20 years, but they were constantly having to make adjustments for that.
Right.
So he's the one that came up with the idea of having an extra day every 4 years, which it was in like 46 BC, and come up with that idea. But there was another one. Maybe it wasn't an extra day. It was extra minutes on the calendar, I think, that was added.
Okay.
I think it was minutes.
It takes Earth 365.25 days to get around the sun. That's why we have a leap year, Tiffany says.
Mm-hmm.
The more you know.
But I hate it. It ruins the whole year. The first leap year in the modern sense in Britain was in 1752, and they lost 11 days from the calendar. They just had to remove a certain number of days off the calendar, 11 of them. So you went immediately from like February the 1st to February the 12th. Boom.
Oh, that's trippy.
Yeah.
Morning, Kathy.
It was during the month of September that they did it, not February. But when they adopted the Gregorian calendar, moving from the Julian to the Gregorian, they kept the leap year with the Gregorian calendar, but they realized that the Julian calendar was not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one we use now.
Gregorian.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'd say Gregorian isn't perfect either. If we're having to add in an extra day and stuff to accommodate.
Mayan calendar, none of them have been perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this year just does not bode well. All the things in it going to be crazy.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Things are getting crazy. 20 seconds. We'll see sunshine this afternoon with a high near 55. Mostly clear skies tonight. Lows dropping down to 32. Sunshine with highs in the low 60s for Tuesday. And same thing on Wednesday. Partly sunny skies. Highs are at around 60.
KIX 102.5 storm tracker radar isn't showing anything over the 4 states.
37 in Seneca, 35 in Pittsburgh, 34 in Joplin. To get signed up for severe weather alerts, head to the KIX app.
So we're wanting to know, how can you tell when a couple's been together too long?
You can call or text to let us know at 417-623-1025.
Not meaning that they should get divorced now or any
No,
separated.
not at all.
No, it's just they do this and it's annoying and you can tell, oh, they've been together too long.
So again, call or text to let us know, or you can tell us on Facebook.
Here's Carrie Underwood
On the 4 states, number 1 for country.
KIX 102.5. Here's another annoying thing that's happening on streaming networks, on some of them now. They are releasing movies to theaters before they stream them.
Right.
Apple TV is the big guilty culprit to this, but Prime TV is talking about doing it too.
Why?
Because they advertise it like it's available on your streaming platform, which you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll release a movie like this weekend, Apple released the movie Argyle. And so when you go to Apple TV to the streaming platform, that's everywhere. They've got it posted everywhere. They're showing the trailer over and over for it. And you think, oh, cool, we have a movie to watch this weekend. Nope.
You gonna watch
Instead,
it?
they release it in the theater and they make you wait 6 months before they let you watch it. It's like Killers of the Flower Moon. They released that to theaters like a year before they finally released it to streaming. They released it to theaters and then they would let you rent it for $25.
Mm-hmm.
$25 in addition to what you pay for the streaming platform.
Right.
Then finally, when it's available everywhere, I guess, they let you watch it for free on the streaming platform. Stupid.
So no Argyle for you this weekend?
No, there ain't nothing to watch on Apple TV right now. They've got that Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg series about the World War II aircraft pilots. Boring. There's like this much story, and the rest of it is them flying around in airplanes shooting it, which is not the same as watching soldiers fighting, you know. There's a lot more story in Band of Brothers, which was the other one that Spielberg and Hanks did, than there is in this. Hi there, Morning Kicks. Nope. So Band of Brothers was a series on HBO that was done by Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks, about a group company, a Company E, during World War II. They're one of the first ones that landed at Normandy, stormed the beaches, and then made their way inland all the way to Berlin. And it tells the story of this group of guys and their interactions and relationships they form and people that get killed and everything. And it was a great, highly awarded, highly lauded series. They tried to do the same thing with the Pacific Theater. Didn't work well. It was okay. But now they're trying to do it with the aircraft battles, and it's just bombing miserably. Hi there, Morning Kicks.
Morning. How
Hey.
are you doing today?
Good. How can you tell when a couple's been together too long?
They don't have a dang thing to say to each other.
You just sit there and quiet.
Said it all.
It's already been said, documented, and probably repeated a couple of times.
Exactly. 'Cause I'm a waiter at Applebee's over in Pittsburgh, and you can always tell the younger couples, they talk, chitter chat, and get back and forth. Even the 20s, 30s, and 40s. But you get them older than that, if they've been together for a while, you can tell they just sit there and don't even say a word.
Every now and then the guy will go, "Did you?" No, I already told you that.
Exactly. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Thanks, you too. It's because they can sit in comfortable silence.
Yes,
you know, they don't
comfortable
have to
silence.
say something.
Right. It's all been said.
Which I love that. I love having someone in my life I can sit in comfortable silence with. Tiffany says, why not just add a 6 hours at the end of the year? Have a 6-hour New Year party?
Well, let's picture what that would do, Tiffany, okay? Let's say at midnight you add 6 hours. So midnight would start again, with your way of thinking, at 6 a.m. So 6 a.m. would be at 12 noon. And at 12 noon, it would be 6 p.m. It would throw the whole day off if we did that. You would have to add another 24 hours somewhere. And
Christmas is 2 days. Yay!
You can't do that logistically. What I think they ought to do is just make all holidays on a certain day of the week, like on a Monday, or no, better yet, on a Friday, and that way everybody gets those days off. You always get a 4-day weekend when there's a holiday, and if they move all of the holidays to a specific day of the week rather than a day of the month, then it would work out.
How do you figure?
Well, because it would always fall on that day, and my syndication calendar wouldn't be thrown off.
That's a you thing. Got it.
Well, and it would work out for everybody because everybody would have 4-day weekends every time there's a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of every now and then you get a Tuesday off or a Wednesday and then have to come back to work. Throws the whole stinking week off.
Mm-hmm.
When Christmas is on, here lately, Christmas has always been around a weekend for the past 2 or 3 years. So it's not been too bad, but it's getting ready to be on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And in fact, I think, wasn't it on Monday this year?
Yeah.
And because of leap year, it's now going to fall on a Wednesday.
Mm.
So it just, it'll ruin the whole thing.
I don't like that.
I would have rather it been on a Tuesday and then take a Monday off, Christmas Eve off, but it's not
Yeah.
going to, and it's not going to happen. Because of leap year, it scoots everything down to the middle of the week. So all these holidays that we had around the weekend, that's a thing of the past for another, 4 years?
Right. "40 seconds. She says, okay, what about time change?
Yeah, I'm against that too. Quit screwing with the time change. The arrogance of mankind.
"15 seconds.
La, 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 la. KIX 102.5, the 4 states #1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen.
Sunshine this afternoon with highs in the mid-50s. It's 34 in Joplin.
So we're wanting to know, how can you tell when a couple's been together too long?
When you're in the bathroom trying to go potty and they're laid on the floor outside the door talking to you.
Yep.
I'm going to say that you've probably been together too long. There's no conversation that can't wait until the flush happens.
417-623-1025 to tell us how you can tell when a couple's been together way too long.
You can also tell us on Facebook.
Here's Jimmy Allen
Down home.
on the 4 states #1 for country.
KIX 102.5.
I know a lot of people would love for the day after the Super Bowl to be a day, a
Off.
paid
Yeah, I get
vacation,
that.
national holiday kind of a thing.
Either that or why don't they do the Super Bowl on a Saturday?
Right. Why's it got to be on Sunday?
It would become a lot more likely to having it on a Saturday than they would getting everybody to agree to a paid day off on a Monday.
Mm-hmm. Tiffany's just walks in and sits on the countertop and has a full-on conversation with her while she's in the bathroom.
Yep. No.
Mm-mm.
We have a poop chamber in our bathroom, so it's got its own little door and everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's only really room. Every so often, just to annoy my wife when she's on the toilet, I will go sit on her lap. Reverse in her lap. Go, what you doing? Like that. It doesn't get old at my
Poor
house.
Gina.
She just sighs heavily. She does that a lot.
I wonder why.
I don't know. What did I ask her last night? I said, baby, and she was laying there dozing.
Mhm.
She goes, what? And I said, would you like to sniff my short stack?
What?
I said, would you like to sniff my short stack?
Did you have pancakes?
Nope. Just randomly throw things like that out all the time.
And what was her response?
No, thank you. I'm not interested in smelling anything. She goes, I don't smell things.
I don't smell things.
That's what she said. I don't smell things. I'm like, well, you will here in a minute.
No. Yeah, I can't do it. Get out. I don't want an audience. If I'm doing number 2,
No,
you're going out the door.
that is one thing, that function we're not allowed to experience together.
No. I don't even like going pee with an audience. You know? I don't know if that's different for guys, though, because y'all all have to stand there.
You're going to be in here. You're going to have to help.
Oh, dear.
I can't go poo in front of you. Get out.
That was good. I was into it. Oh, man. What?
It is time
Stupid
changes. It's in
Joplin.
April, right?
March, isn't it?
No, it is March. You're right. Not that far away. March 10th. And at that
A little
point,
over a
to
month.
me, that's the indicator is when now, it changes every year, of course. It's another one of those floating things. But that's to me when winter is over. I mean, you may have another cold snap or two, but for the most part, it's about done. It's time for spring. And Easter is going to be in March this year.
Oh. That's weird.
More of the stupid calendar stuff.
Get back in April. Wait, which one's on your birthday, Jimmy? When the kids barge in and hit the invisible wall.
The odor wall.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gross. New Jersey's going to be hosting the FIFA World Cup this year. No, not this year. 2026. That'll be a big deal. Isn't that
Good
the
for
first
them.
time that it's been in the U.S.?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't follow FIFA very well. I think we need to go. Otherwise, we're going to have to go at 12. We're going after this song. Otherwise, we're going at 22. Okay. Daylight saving time on March 10th. Yeah. Tiffany says, why is Easter in March?
Because of the calendar floating around. It's always, I forget why, what the logic is. Easter is observed on Sunday, March 31st. It is a movable feast, and it changes every year because pop-ups. It doesn't happen on the same date. In the Gregorian calendar, it's always observed on a Sunday between March 22nd and April 25th. So Orthodox, they do it between April 4th and May 8th.
17 seconds.
KIX 102.5, the 4 states number 1 for country. It's Morning KIX with Randy and Jen.
Sunshine this afternoon with highs in the mid-50s. It's 34 in Joplin.
And we'll give you a look at the weather forecast in about 5 minutes.
But we're talking about how can you tell when you and your significant other, or maybe any old couple's been together way too long?
623-1025. What's your way of telling that a couple's been together too long?
When you order their meal from the menu, you know exactly what they want.
I was so proud of myself when I could finally order my wife's fast food item without having to check and make sure with her first.
That's just because you complain all the time that she takes too long.
She does. She can't make up her mind. Do I want the advice? I'm like, the line's getting longer behind us.
How can you tell when you've been together too long?
When they don't have a dang thing to say to each other.
You just sit there and quiet.
Already said it all.
It's already been said, documented, and probably repeated a couple of times.
Exactly, because I'm a waiter. You can always tell the younger couples, they talk and chitter-chat and get back and forth, even the 20s, 30s, and 40s. But you get them older than that, after they've been together for a while, you can tell they just sit there and don't even say a word.
Every now and then, the guy will go, did you? No, I already told you that.
Exactly.
623-1025.
How can you tell you've been together too long?
When you start shaving their back hair.
Ew.
Yeah, well, but that qualifies, definitely.
Yeah, it does.
You've been together too long. What do you use to do that? Weed eater?
Race.
Hi there, Morning Kicks. How can you tell when you've been together too long?
When everything is never a shock anymore.
No matter what they do.
No matter. It doesn't matter body functions, actions, reactions. It's like, okay, this is all right,
I mean, every once in a while, you wish they'd go out and burn down the house or color their hair green or maybe shave off the neighbor's cat.
Wait, why?
So it keeps the romance alive.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
How can you tell when a couple's been together too long?
417-623-1025 to call or text.
Or you can tell us on Facebook.
It's the 4 states #1 for country. Oh, there's the promo. There's the phone.
Hi there, Morning Kicks. How can you tell when a couple's been together too long?
We're planning a party for the divorce.
Yeah, that's probably an indicator that it's been,
Been way too long.
It's been way too long. That was a hell of a party, though, guys.
Thanks for calling.
Have a great day. Aw. Jimmy's first great grandbaby's going to be here in April. That's exciting. Yeah, Easter's going to feel like March 75th for sure, Tiffany.
It's going to be weird. So the reason that Easter moves, you were asking that? Well, Christmas is fixed to the solar calendar and is closest to the winter solstice,
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's on a fixed date.
Okay.
But Easter is based on the lunar cycles of the Jewish calendar. So Easter is actually part of the Jewish, they have a whole bunch of festivals that they do during the springtime. And this is part of that. It always comes 3 days after the Passover, which is the Seder Passover that happens based on the lunar calendar, will happen on the Friday. And then the following Sunday, of course, 3 days later would be the traditional Easter. And so it's because Easter is based on a lunar month, which is 29.5 days, that the date of Easter can vary.
The mo you know.
So the astronomical date of the equinox can shift by a day or so. So in 2024, the astronomical date of the equinox is Tuesday, March 19th. So they call that the ecclesiastical equinox. And that's the date used by the church to set the Easter holiday. So if the full moon occurs on the same day as the spring equinox, Easter will be observed on the subsequent Sunday. However, there is a caveat.
Of course there is.
Which is why it can move so much. So they decided to simplify calculating Easter's date by always observing the spring equinox on March 21st, despite the fact that the equinox date changes over time and is actually getting earlier than that. So the discrepancy between the astronomical equinox and the church's observed equinox date can sometimes cause confusion. So like 2019, when the full moon and the astronomical equinox occurred on the same day, Wednesday, March 20th. And according to that should have meant that Easter would be observed on Sunday, March 24th. However, because the church observes the equinox on March 21st, the full moon did not technically occur on or just after the equinox.
I need the whiteboard.
Yeah, meaning that the next full moon would determine Easter's date instead. So that's why in 2019 it was held on April 21st, almost a full month after. It's so confusing.
Very.
You just have to look at your calendar and say, okay, that's when it is. I don't know why. I don't get it, but it's a mess.
Lunar New Year is on February 10th. Oh, man. So, Megan, I told Kyle that Pumpkin is pregnant and going to have puppies. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, yeah, she's going to have puppies. He's like, oh, wait a second. He's like, no, we don't need a puppy. That's a very interesting word you use there, need and puppy. Forge bypass lobbers for dingleberries? Oh my gosh. I spent the weekend living off of Flonase and Benadryl to try and get cleared up, and I feel like I'm still super nasally. Sorry, guys. With someone new.
Our new guy, D, started last night.
Yeah, you trained him on Saturday? How'd it go?
We're good. Trained him for about 2 hours and then left him on his own. And got everything done.
Good.
Like, yeah, after I did an hour or two, I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to, he's always been more comfortable in Prod B when he was here before. Rather than doing this, I showed him this. Then we went to Prod B, and I could not, for the life of me, for a few minutes, remember how to set up the board. It's been so long since I did it in Prod B. I'm like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they had it marked was a little confusing. And finally, I got it right. But
Yeah.
we recorded it wrong the first time because I had it set up wrong.
Whoops. So is he officially... Okay.
Temporarily.
Okay.
They are, he will be with us all the way through February. At the end of February, they're going to look at some other possibilities. So he may not be with us long term. So things are not going to change on the website, in spite of the fact that J-Dub has already moved over to Classic Hits. So I could take him off there, I guess, but that might be like pulling teeth.
Yeah. That's what I told him. I said it's going to be a small puppy with a wonderful personality, and it'll be adorable.
Delicious.
And he's like, you know how Nyx is. She's going to want to be the queen. And I said, that's fine. She can be the queen. She can be the alpha. And we can put a puppy in the mix. At the end of the day, we, as the humans, are the alphas in our pack.
I don't know about
And that's
that.
how the hierarchy goes.
Are they? Are you?
Yes.
Are you sure you are?
Yes.
Doesn't your dog dictate certain things to you?
No.
Are you sure they don't?
Yes. We maybe just spoil our dogs a little.
There are definitely classifications with dogs. With canines, it's alpha, beta, kappa, delta. There's epsilon. There's many, many different levels.
Yeah.
Everybody has a place. There's a hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we have to record for...
Yeah.
Not for this week.
Next week.
For 13th and the 14th.
See, part of it, a really big part of it is how you introduce the new pack member to the pack.
How do
know?
you do it?
We take our dogs, the way that we introduced Nyx and Atlas is we took them to neutral ground and we took turns walking so they could see both humans with the new dog and both humans with Atlas. We didn't try to force an interaction. We would just walk with them. And if he was fine just walking beside her, we praised that. And
See, there's Caesar Milan would argue that that's incorrect.
really?
Yeah. He says that you should introduce, because when you introduce on neutral ground, then all dogs are trying to claim or trying to establish.
Mm-hmm.
When you do it on ground that a certain number of the dogs are comfortable with, that's already established, and the dog gets to fit into that process, and they can welcome them in oftentimes. And he shows this process a lot of the time at his rehab center. He will bring a new dog into a group of about 20 dogs at the location. And that dog usually goes through the freak out period, and everything. It usually takes a day or so. But once they integrate in, then they're part of the pack. It usually only takes a day or not even that long. I mean, they show the initial, which can sometimes be a little interesting. And there's been confrontations and stuff as they try to establish. And he always plays interference for that. But he wants the stability coming from his dogs, which have been rehabilitated and they're very well balanced and everything. And they understand their roles. And let that dog, usually the only dogs he brings to that are the ones that are severely behaviorally damaged, that have severe behavioral problems, and bring them in. But by the end of the week that they've spent there, they're all fixed, normal.
Interesting.
He says,
hey, Chris,
sometimes he will bring a dog from his center to work, like with walking and stuff in group and stuff with another dog. But for the most part, when he's trying to teach them pack integration, he always does that where the pack is on a ground that it's familiar with and knows and is secure.
I always thought that would cause
defensiveness,
like protectiveness of this is our.
He argues that it's that when the alpha brings the dog, that they're comfortable, they're well established. This is not a question. When it's on a ground that they're unfamiliar with, that all of the dogs are trying to establish hierarchy. It's not had to do it myself, so I can't speak. We used to keep all of our pack dogs together, the attack dogs, if they were from the same family. If they weren't, or if they were a different breed, we would put them in separate quarters.
Isn't there a syndrome or something that can happen if you keep two dogs of the same litter? What is that called?
An illness?
It's like a behavioral issue that can arise if you keep two dogs from the same litter.
I don't know. We never ran into it.
How are you healing up, by the way, Chris? Then
you saw, Jimmy, if you watch Caesar a lot, you saw him bring a lot of dogs to his rehabilitation center there in, where is it, San Bernardino? Slow, he says. San Bernardino, I think, is where it is, or at least it's in San Bernardino County, where he'll bring the dog in and let them acclimate with his pack. And there's been a couple of times there's been confrontations at the very beginning where he has to interfere. But usually it's really, really quick. And he identifies they're the ones having the problem. My dog was just, or the dog, I say his dog, the dog at the center,
right,
was just, reacting defensively, sore and bruised. Yeah.
I bet,
I'm
Chris.
Riggit Randy. I am Riggit Randy.
Here we go, Sag.
Naked in my bed.
Nope,
KIX
Randy.
102.5, the 4 states #1 for country.
Wanting to know, how can you tell when you've been together way too long?
623-1025.
Here's Jelly Roll with Laney
on KIX 102.5.
I'd be curious to learn more about that.
I have yet to find anything that I disagree with him on.
I don't know much about him, to be honest with you.
He's I'm under fire for some social things, discrepancies in his life, I think. Inappropriate behavior with female coworkers, other things like that. I don't know. Those were just allegations and stuff. But I know from watching the way he works with dogs that, he's been spot on with everything I've ever seen. And it's all because he does not approach things from the human side. He approaches things from the kennel side. He trains humans, not dogs. It's always changing the human's behavior. And he identifies instantly what behaviorally the dog is doing and what that's an indicator of. And then he can find usually the human problem behind that.
Let's see. Where do you watch his show?
Used to be on Discovery. I don't know where you'd find him now. Cesar Millan. He's got a lot of stuff on YouTube these days, but it's not as good as the old episodes where he would go through and rehabilitate some of these dogs with severe behavioral problems.
He's got a National Geographic show.
Maybe that was it.
Be one with your pack. Better human, better dog.
Okay. And I don't know if that's as good as the old one that they used to have. I can't remember what the old one was called. He's been bitten many times.
I bet.
But it's amazing to watch those situations where he stays very, very calm. The TV show was called Dog Whisperer. That's what you need to look
Dog
up.
Whisperer.
And that was 2004 to 2012.
Daily Motion has all the episodes, apparently.
Well, there you go.
Oh my gosh, this Chihuahua is insane.
Yeah. Oh, he's had this poor beagle that this family had, and when they'd go to work, they'd put him in the yard. Well, the dog would run a circuitous route around the house, so much so that it had worn a ditch this deep in the ground.
Wow.
And it was a nervous disorder, a pack separation anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave the dog a task to do, and he would spend about 15 to 20 minutes on the treadmill carrying a backpack. And in the morning while they were getting ready, go rest. It's this unrestful mind that a dog has. That when there's excessive energy, they act out in this behavior. And he is point out, that's not happy dog. That's an anxious, nervous dog. A happy dog is one that's restful, quiet, peaceful, relaxing. KIX 102.5, the 4 states, #1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen.
Sunshine with highs in the mid-50s this afternoon. It's 34 in Joplin.
And we've been talking about how can you tell when a couple's been together too long?
You can call or text to tell us at 417-623-1025.
How can you tell when a couple's been together too long?
And they start kissing your feet after a long day's hard work.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No.
Oh, it's happening.
There for a second, I thought you said shaving their feet,
No, no.
is
Kissing.
weird.
But kissing their feet is just as weird.
Yeah, it is. It's weird. I'm not doing that.
How can you tell when you've been together way too long?
I would have to say when you're not embarrassed about the vapors.
The vapors?
I got a bad case of the vapors. you just look over at her and say, boy, honey, that was a good one, yeah. 8.5. You hold up the card.
How can you tell when you've been together too long?
When you buy the tampons.
Yeah, when a guy doesn't mind to go out and buy her feminine product.
Yeah.
And at this point, he knows what she wants without even asking.
Oh, that's even sadder. 623-1025 to tell us how you can tell when a couple's been together too long.
You can also tell us on Facebook.
It's the 4 states #1 for country.
KIX 102.5.
But Caesar points out that a lot of the times when a dog is misbehaving, it's because of an inadequacy or something that's not being provided by the dog owner, or they're not being assertive enough to be the alpha. They're not establishing roles. And to establish roles, the easiest way to establish a role is with the walk. And he's saying you need to do the walk on an ongoing basis in the correct way so that you can be established as the alpha. The dog will be more likely to be subservient, subject to you, and will follow your guidance in a lot of things, where they won't if you don't establish that role.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, really easy to establish roles with the walk, usually. So when you do it correctly, you don't let the dog start the walk. You don't let the dog establish the pace. You do. The dog should not be allowed to go in front of you unless, as during the essential walk, should be the alphas in front. The alpha leads. The alpha sets the pace. And a dog, once they understand, oh, okay, cool. and they'll follow that. And you shouldn't have to drag them with the leash or anything like that. Now, with dogs with behavior problems, just getting the walk done can be a big challenge. Bella took me 3 months every day, and every day would be this huge. I just knew people were going to call ASPCA on me or PETA or something because with the leash, and that with a dog like that, where they've been allowed to essentially set their own role and everything, there has to be a breaking. She, bless her heart, used to come back with bloody paw prints, because she would fight so hard, just constantly. And it wasn't she was being drugged. She was just doing this during the walk, fighting hard. Once she did, she was not happy either. When we got her, she'd go duck under the couch and just stay there with her tail down, never wagged her tail or anything. And that was that way for about 3 months. Once we got the role established of, okay, he's alpha, I don't have to worry about things the way I used to. He's got everything taken care of. He is the one in charge. She relaxed. She's now one of the happiest dogs I know. She's playful and has a great time and is very easygoing in her environment. But it took a long time for her to accept that.
Right.
And it's because she had been through some bad things.
How old was she when you adopted her?
Less than a year, about a year old.
Yeah.
So, and I have never had as hard a time training a dog as I did her.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I kept thinking, we're going to have to get rid of her. I can't do this. And eventually I did.
Did anyone feel the earthquake the other night? It was in Oklahoma.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. So I've got friends that live on the northwest side of town that it damaged their house. It actually twisted the house or the foundation during that, put a big crack up the sheetrock in their living room, and their roof started leaking after that. So on Saturday when it started raining, they'd never had a roof problem before. Friday night, they actually recorded video of the house shaking during the earthquake and showed the crack in the video. They show the crack in the sheetrock.
Can you get earthquake insurance around here?
You can. I'm not sure what it would cost. It wouldn't be as bad here as it would, say, over in southeast Missouri or maybe in Oklahoma, but you can get earthquake insurance. I imagine it's pretty expensive. Be about like buying flood insurance within a floodplain.
Yeah. I didn't feel it either, Tiffany. She says they felt it all the way up in KC.
I think I did. I remember Friday night. So it's about 11:20 Friday night. I remember we were laying in bed. We had just gone to bed not too much earlier than that. And I think Gina had just dozed off. And I was in that dozy half state, but I remember hearing a noise. I didn't feel it, but I remember hearing something going bump, 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 bump. And me going, what the heck was that? And I woke Gina up even. I'm pretty sure. It was so close to sleep that, which, by the way, I think your camera may look better. No, yeah, it does, maybe. Let me full screen.
No.
No, it doesn't. No, you're right. Well, now the website is 480p, but they both look bad.
Megan says she had a vertigo feeling. Jimmy's friend in Wichita felt it. I had a ton of people. I still know people who live down in Ark City and Winfield and stuff, and they were all talking about it.
It's not uncommon. I have a lot of earthquakes. If you will go on to the U.S. Seismology Center, whatever it's called, they will show how many there have been over the past 3 or 4 days. Look at Oklahoma. It's insane how many tremors and things they have.
I don't think I've ever felt an earthquake before.
I've been through a number of them. When I lived in Los Angeles, they used to have them all the time. You'd feel tremors all the time. It just becomes a background thing. Nobody mentions it unless it gets over around 5, or so on the Richter scale.
So what does it feel like, though, when you're standing there?
So the worst one that I've ever been in was in South Central Missouri in Oregon County, and I was only 4 miles from the epicenter where it was recorded at. And it was a 6.4.
Yikes.
And I don't remember what I was doing, but I was in the living room of the house that I grew up in. And I was about 16, 17 at the time. And it shook. I thought there was a big truck driving by on our dirt road. It felt like that. It was really shaking the house. I'm like, holy cow, how big a truck is this? And I go look out the main window, and there's nothing on the road. And And I realized it was an earthquake, and it's rattling the lights. You can hear, like in our ceiling fan, the globes were jingling. And it's just kind of like this kind of thing. And you hear a rumble, like a big truck going by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's quite a ways away from us. You think about that, but I was only 3-4 miles away from this epicenter where it had happened.
Morning, Chase. Have a great day.
Morning, Chase. So, all up down the west coast.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like rolling thunder that makes you shake, Megan says.
They ask also on the USGS, did you feel it? You can log. Last 30 days. Here we go. Oh, that's not a map.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of California. Did they get the building?
I was just going to ask you the same thing.
5.08, Oklahoma, February 3rd. This says it was at 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, this is UTC. That would be off by about 5 hours.
Do that.
As long as there weren't any in southeast Missouri. If that happened, this is the past week map. And you can see the Oklahoma. But look at this.
Hold on, I'll look in a second. Got 4 seconds.
No. KIX 102.5, the 4 states, #1 for country. More to KIX with Randy and Jen.
Wanting to know, how can you tell when you've been together too long?
623-1025 to text or tell us.
Or tell us on Facebook.
Here's Jackson Dean.
On KIX 102.5.
So when you look at this epicenter map, this is in the past week of the one here at Oklahoma. But when you zoom in, watch this. This is all Oklahoma right here. And you can see numerous ones that have all happened. Prague, Oklahoma, one near Prague, Oklahoma, Prague, Sparks, Oklahoma. Doesn't tell the date or the time. That was February 3rd. February 3rd. There were a bunch of aftershocks and tremors that happened throughout the night on February 3rd. And that was February 2nd. Oh, 5.1. The 5.1 it marks is February 2nd. Yeah. 23, 24. That's when that was. And the rest of this was all aftershocks. The ones you got to watch for over here. The largest one in the world. The New Madrid. I've told you about it.
Yes, I remember that now.
Yeah, it's worst one in the world. If it ever goes off again, that'll be it. They also had
Hi,
one
Kathy.
in Idaho, just not that far from Yellowstone. That's a little scary.
Yeah, you don't want earthquakes over there.
So it's thought when the cauldron, the Yellowstone cauldron goes off, that the New Madrid will go off too. Or if the New Madrid goes off, it'll set off the cauldron. And that'll be it.
Oh, dear.
For the U.S. So we've decided, boy, Dominican Republic's having a ton of them right now. I mean, they've had like 20 or 30 within a 2-day period.
Yikes.
We're looking at Costa Rica for vacation.
Ooh, fun.
Maybe. That it's just north of Panama, just south of Nicaragua.
Mm-hmm.
I had a buddy who's originally from Nicaragua, and he said, that's where you want to go. He said it's like the closest to the equator without going to Panama, and who wants to go to Panama? And he said it's warm there year round. Their coolest temperature is 80.
That's right up your alley.
And he said the whole country is dedicated to tourists.
Here we go. 8 seconds.
KIX 102.5, the 4 states #1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen.
Sunshine with highs nearing 55 this afternoon. It's 34 in Joplin.
And we'll give you a look at the weather forecast in the next hour. Plus, we've got the Morning KIX takeover starting in just 5 minutes.
So make sure to go on the KIX app or the KIX website and go vote for the songs that you want us to play back for you.
So we're wanting to know, though, how can you tell when a couple's been together too long? What are they doing that makes it known that, okay, they've been together too long?
You can call or text to let us know, 417-623-1025.
How can you tell when a couple's been together too long?
Yeah, when you're in bed, your wife farts and pulls the covers over your head.
And thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah.
You should ask her, say, I thought that was my job.
Well, I've done it myself, too, so.
Turnabout's fair play, that's right.
Both of you ought to get to enjoy him.
Ew. How can you tell that you've been together too long?
Well, I'm thinking when you got separate bedrooms.
Yeah, I think that definitely qualifies.
I mean, that saves the marriage. And sometimes separate houses wouldn't be so bad. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe it's because they've been doing that Dutch oven thing a little too much.
How can you tell when you've been together too long?
My husband will come in the morning when I'm getting ready and just sit down on the toilet and start pooping and talk to me at the same time. Like it's just no big deal.
He's like, we got to go down to the store later today and get that load of lumber that we promised we would bring.
Exactly. He'll just sit there like it's nothing.
Well, for him, it's not.
So I know that's really gross, but yeah, it's the truth.
Hey, if you want to be here during the process, then you're going to have the whole experience.
How can you tell when you've been together too long?
You can text us at 623-1025.
Or tell us on Facebook.
It's the 4 states #1 for country.
KIX 102.5.
So tomorrow on the show, we're going to be talking about your food cravings as we get ready for Super Bowl parties and all of that. We want to know what's your biggest food craving you've ever had. I get a craving for Doritos and the French onion dip all the time. It's that salty sour, I guess.
I don't know. I also
get weird cravings like for barbecue. I do that every so often.
Yeah, barbecue's one of my big cravings too. I like peanut butter with pickles.
That's little. Maybe you're pregnant.
I'm not.
I'm pretty sure you are.
It's a thing. It's a legitimate thing.
I don't believe it is.
It is.
So your strangest food craving that you've ever had, and pregnancy ones do qualify, but we also want the ones that maybe don't have anything you can't explain at all. Oh, I know one I get.
What?
The I can't remember the name of the candy company. They're the one that have the halo picture on the cover, the gummy worms. That and Red Bull. Whenever I travel anywhere, I've got to have that. It's the sour gummy worms and Red Bull.
I love sour gummy worms.
Love those two. And I will knock out a whole package in about 15 minutes. So your weird or your crazy food cravings that you've had, tomorrow. Plus, we're going to be talking about, kind of tying in with that Super Bowl food, but also about the guy who has not. What is the concussion protocol, Super Bowl? That is a link. I followed it the other week or two ago. It's a bit.
It's a bit.
I've forgotten it, but we'll have to listen to that and get that ready for tomorrow, too.
Yeah.
So have a great rest of your Monday.
Bye.